Hey guys, Coach Jason, welcome back, and I hope you're all doing well. To my newcomers to the channel, welcome. If you're a coach or an athlete and you like a lot of detailed, comprehensive training information and just good educational videos and fun videos with regards to running, this channel is for you. So hit that subscribe button right now and make sure you hit the bell next to it. So I've got 100 plus videos of training all the way from 800 all the way up to the marathon with specific time goals. I also have workouts galore. I have injury prevention. I have stretching. I have everything you can imagine on there, and I'm going to continue to boost this channel as well, making it one of the best running channels out there. So be sure to subscribe now. Don't miss what's out there already, and I don't want you to miss what's going to be coming out moving forward because there's a lot of good stuff coming forward. So, but in the description down below, you'll see a couple of videos. You'll see a couple of recent ones I've done: how to break 6 minutes for the mile and how to break 5 minutes for the mile. Okay. Training indicators of workout paces and workouts you should be looking for or building towards, okay? Today I'm going to do the midpoint, how to break 5:30 for the mile, okay? Sometimes it's a bit of a feat to go from 6 to 5, so we want to get to the midpoint and kind of gradually progress the training so you can eventually get faster and faster and faster. And this is not only helpful to middle distance runners, it's also helpful to people that are training for half marathon and marathon. The more efficient your stride is and the more efficient you are, the better you're going to be at energy conservation for the longer stuff. And training for the shorter stuff is really, really helpful. Okay, and two helpful videos down in the description below. You'll see a 1 mile time trial video and a how to set the right training paces based on what you run for a 1 mile time trial. I emphasize this in a lot of my videos because a 1 mile time trial tells you a lot about your fitness, so the fitness of your athletes. After about a 6 to 8 week or maybe even 10-week base training period, so let's say you're training over the summer, and then right before you start cross country or something, you do a 1 mile time trial. What it does is it helps you set the right training paces for everybody based on what they've run, so that people are not training either too aggressively for their fitness or not aggressively enough for their fitness. It puts everybody in the right zones to make sure that everybody's progressing appropriately, okay? And what it also tells you in that video is, where your capabilities currently lie for 800 and 400 for short events, and then for 3K and 5K. And what it means is if you're closer to the shorter stuff than you are the longer stuff, it's a sign to increase or enhance your aerobic training, threshold training. On the flip side, if you're closer to the longer stuff than you are the shorter stuff, it's a sign to improve speed development. So it tells you a lot, okay? And I've done all the detail work already. I've broken down the math and the science, so you don't have to do it in both videos, and how to set the right training paces based on what you run. I've broken it down from 8 minutes down to 4 minutes, okay? So you don't have to do it. So if you're going to watch these videos, just like I encourage folks in any of my videos, watch it from beginning to end. Don't click, write stuff down, and then click off the video because you're going to miss a lot of important details, okay? And I don't want you later looking on and saying, this doesn't make sense. The reason why is because you didn't watch the video. I explain everything from beginning to end. And if I don't, tell me in the comments, and I will explain to you what I mean by something, whatever it is, okay? By the way, Jason, for those that don't know me, I am a USATF certified coach. I've competed and coached for the last 2 decades, I've competed at the high school, college, and post-collegiate levels. I've coached at all 3 levels, and I worked with athletes from beginner to all the way up to the elite level. So I do speak from experience. This stuff is stuff I've used on athletes or built, modified towards athletes with individual needs. So this stuff is... The math is done. Everything is done already so that you have a template you can use if you want for your athletes, so to build towards. This gives you pace ranges to build towards in order to break 5:30 for the mile. And the same thing goes for my other videos, whatever the time goals are. So keep that in mind, okay? With that, oh, by the way, for my regulars, thanks so much. And let me know if you subscribe in the comments down below so I could personally thank you. I really appreciate your support. And again, for the beginners, welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoyed enough to come back. But please subscribe either way. It's really helpful to the channel's growth. Thank you so much. With that, let's get to the important stuff, okay? So to break 5:30 for the mile, there's some indicators, okay? Your 800 meter should be around 228 to 230, okay? Gives you an idea of the leg speed a little bit, okay? Your 3K should be around 1042 to 1040. Your 3,200 meters, just sort of 2 miles, should be between 1128 and 1130, which is about 544 to 545 per mile. About 15 seconds per mile slower than the goal mile, okay? Obviously, you want to have a component of speed development in there, whether it be, hill sprints or hill repeats and short, flat stuff, either after a run or as a workout itself or after, long reps, however you want to do it. It's an important part of training, whether you're training for the mile or the 800, all the way up to the marathon. Doesn't matter. It's important for everybody, okay? Now let's go to certain components of training. Tempo run, okay? Particularly for those that don't that aren't used to tempo runs and that are training for like mile, 2 mile, 3K, 5K, and so on, it is a good idea, and Jack Daniels goes into detail about this, to build towards a 20-minute tempo run, okay, or 4 miles, okay, and then you can make modifications from there. I agree with that, but I break it up into different pieces, okay? I like to kind of progress my athletes, and the reason why, I don't want you to have to do it. I don't like putting my athletes to do a 20-minute run at a specific goal pace and them not being able to complete it. That can be frustrating, okay? And again, I want to continue building them towards the goal pace. So what I do is I break it down into 6 pieces, and I have them do it like maybe every 2 weeks, okay? The next piece. Now, what you do in those 2 weeks is important to get you get to that next fitness level, but this is how I break it down, okay? For 12-minute blocks, 16-minute blocks, 20-minute blocks, I add 4 minutes per every 4 weeks. So the first time is 2 times 6 minutes at the goal tempo pace, which is 6:30 to 6:20 per mile, okay? So they're running a little less than a mile, okay, with a 2-minute recovery. The following time, 2 weeks later, then they add that up and they go 12 minutes consecutively at the goal pace, okay? And then the next time, 2 weeks later, 2 times 8 minutes, which is 16 minutes, but it's broken up into 2 pieces with a 2-minute recovery, and then 16 minutes consecutively after that. Then the third block, 2 times 10 minutes at the goal pace with a 2-minute recovery, okay? And then 20 minutes consecutively. That's how I break it into 6 pieces, and at that point you can even go, if you want to keep going, 2 times 2 mile and then a 4 mile consecutive, but it's really up to you and what you feel is most appropriate for yourself and for your athletes, but that is a possibility, okay? At the goal pace, and that allows them to lock into the goal pace and kind of build into it. Build into it and build into it and build into it. And by the way, my next video after this is going to be how to take the advantage of the entire workout instead of a part of it, okay? And things that you can do to make sure that you benefit from an entire workout so you can progress from things like this, okay? So don't miss that video, because I'm going to give you very important things, and these are things that I've used on athletes for years that works really, really well, and I will go into full detail explaining it. So watch that entire video too, okay? So now, next one, short reps, okay? 200-meter efforts and 400-meter efforts. And this one here, so 8 to 10 by 200-meter efforts with a 1-minute recovery at 800-meter pace, which is like 36, 37, okay? Then the next one, 400-meter efforts. That's with about 6 to 8 reps. You're working your way from about 90 seconds recovery towards 1-minute recovery if you repeat that workout, okay? They're at mile pace, which is about 81 to 82 seconds per 400, okay? Longer reps, 800-meter efforts, 5 to 6 of them with a 2-minute recovery at 3K pace. So 251 to 252 per rep, okay, which is about 545 per mile, okay? And then 1,000-meter efforts, 4 to 5 reps with a 2-minute recovery at 5K pace, which is about 342 to 340, okay, which is about a low 18-minute, 1820 to 1830-ish approximately for 5K, okay? Now, threshold reps, another component, okay? 800-meter efforts as well. This is slower than 3K and 5K pace, but it's still important. Okay, 6 reps at threshold pace. Okay, at 312 to 310 per rep with a 1-minute recovery. Okay, 1,000-meter efforts, 5 of them instead of 4 to 5 with the same 1-minute recovery at threshold pace also, which is 358 to 356. Now the cool thing about threshold pace is it's not as fast as race pace, but it's faster than tempo. So it's in between tempo and race pace. And what it does is it allows you to get, let's say if you're doing 4 miles at 6:30 to 6:20, you could also do 4 times a mile with a 90-second recovery, which is the appropriate threshold pace for mile repeats at 6:20 to 6:10 per mile. Slightly faster, but it's just broken up into pieces with a recovery. That's just an example. But threshold work is slightly faster than tempo, about 10 seconds per mile faster than tempo runs. But again, it's slower than 3K and 5K race pace. Okay. The reason why I give you this is because the next one I want to talk about is a multi-pace training cycle. Let's think about it as let's say you have a 2-week block, right? And you want to repeat it twice. And then modify training after 4 weeks so that your body adapts over a 4-week period for periodization reasons. Let's say you want to incorporate all this. So let's say week 1, you do let's say you do 1,000-meter efforts at threshold pace, right? Let's stick with this first. You can incorporate this after. Let's just say you're doing 1,000-meter efforts at 5K pace on one workout, and then you do a tempo run, okay, for the other workout. The following week, you do 3K pace stuff, 800s at 3K pace, and then you do threshold pace, threshold reps, okay? The week after that, you do mile pace repeats, and then another tempo run, okay? And then the week after that, week 4, you do 200-meter efforts at 800-meter pace, and then threshold reps. So now you're getting a combination, you're incorporating threshold and tempo, and you're getting progressively faster over the 2-week period. You're going from 5K to 3K to mile pace down to 800-meter pace. A multi-tiered pace or a multi-pace training cycle is really good, and it sets you up. You set your athletes up for long-term success. So that's kind of how you can break it down. Now, how you schedule everything is up to you, depending on how often you're racing and so on and so forth. But that's a great way of incorporating it all into a 2-week block, repeating it twice, and then evaluating after 4 weeks and then seeing whether you can use a time trial or something to increase your training paces, or race obviously, or increase volume for the week as well. So you don't want to increase volume and intensity at the same time, one or the other, okay? It's all part of progression, okay? And then obviously the last one, at this point, let's say you have a day off every 7 to 14 days. So it could be a day off every Sunday or whatever it is, or a day off every other Sunday, and then on the alternate Sunday you do either an easy bike, 30-minute bike, or an easy jog if you want. But that way you're training and recovering simultaneously, so you don't have to make drastic changes. There's no such thing as a drastic peak magic workout. So if you're doing everything consecutively and consistently over a long period of time, you're not going to have to make drastic moves like that, because just as progression and periodization is important as going up, letting your body adapt, it's just as important coming down. The body has to adapt. And if you make drastic cuts in volume 2 or 3 weeks in a row, there is a chance your legs might be out of whack or out of rhythm, and that's the last thing you want to do. So just keep that in mind, okay? Training paces to build towards to achieve a sub 5:30 mile for easy runs, 8:20 to 7:50 per mile, okay? Steady runs, 7:50 to 7:20 per mile, so about a 30-second block faster. And then progression, from this, you just progress from the slowest part on easy to the fastest part of steady, 8:20 to 7:20 per mile. So you have a minute here, so if you're doing a progression run. So, and that's a more mild progression run. There are other types of progression runs, but you can start to incorporate that as you get fitter and more experienced later on. So this is a protocol for running a sub 5:30 mile. Some things to be looking for, building towards, and so on. You might be there for certain ones and not there for others. That's why I encourage you to look at the 1 mile time trial video, because it kind of helps you address deficiencies and kind of modify things in your training easier than you normally would, okay? And to make sure you're training at the right paces. That's really, really important. That's also important for recovery purposes, because you don't want 5:30 mile people training with doing the same exact workouts as 5-minute mile people, and then 4:45 mile people. Okay, pace ranges are going to be different. Same applies for 6-minute mile people trying to hang with 5:30 mile people. They might be able to do workouts at some point, and there are outliers. There are some people who might progress a little bit faster, but chances are, if those people are doing workouts with these people and these people are doing workouts with those, they're not going to recover the same way. And that's the important part. It's recovering enough to come back in 2 or 3 days for another workout or a race. And that's where those things come into play, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this. If it makes sense, please hit that thumbs up. And again, please hit the subscribe button regardless. It's really, really helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Be safe, train hard, train smart. Talk to you next time.